If a little green is good, more is even better. Now, back to Green is Good with John Shigarian and Mike Brady.
Welcome back to Green is Good, and we're so honored today to have Debbie Lawlor, who is the Chief of Sustainability for the New Jersey Meadowlands Commission and the Director of Administration for the NJMC Business Accelerator. Debbie's on the phone with us from New Jersey today. Welcome to Green is Good, Debbie.
Hi, thanks so much for having me. I'm delighted to be with you today.
Now, Debbie, we ran into each other, I think, online in the famous social media world, and I was just growing up in New York and New Jersey. I was just blown away by what your work is and the path that you're on. Share a little bit about what the Meadowlands Commission is doing and what got them started on the whole green path.
Well, we always consider ourselves kind of the gem of the Meadowlands area here. The Meadowlands Commission actually got started back in 1969, and part of our mission was to protect the delicate balance of nature in the Meadowlands. And we actually control 14 towns around the Meadowlands area, and that's kind of around Giant Stadium for those in other parts of the country.
Right.
And we control the zoning and planning in a regional nature around that area. And really, we're just 6 miles outside of New York City. So when it comes down to it, and you look at the delicate balance of nature, it's a really difficult thing to do because you're in a very, very urban area, yet there's lots of wetlands around there. But to get people started on the green path, what we did was we actually operate an environment center. We have school programs that have gone on for close to 40 years where people come and they bring school trips through. We have environmental and cultural programs for the public. We operate a nature park called DeCourt Park in that area. And one of our latest endeavors has been the opening of the first public LEED Platinum building in the state of New Jersey, right on our property.
Wow, that is. Now let's go back a little bit. First of all, when I introduce you, your background is amazing. How did you even come to this position with the New Jersey Meadowlands Commission? What was your path? Because people always ask Mike and I, they email us or they ask us in passing because they know we do this show. How can we become the next Debbie Lawlor? How can we become the next person who's doing what she does? Your path is amazing. Share that a little bit. Then I want to go back and talk about what's happening over in the Meadowlands.
Well, actually, I guess when it comes to sustainability, I was very, very lucky because my background is environmental planning and design. So I was on the sustainability path right from the beginning. Back when I was in college, they called it environmental planning. And then many years later, they started to call it smart growth. And it evolved into now what they're calling sustainability. So I never really had to change my career path. When I first came out of college in 1980, I worked for a couple of years at an environmental and engineering firm, and then I went to work for the state. But I've worked in the regional planning realm for over 25 years. And I've been able to get the sustainability message out in a very big way over those years. And I've enjoyed every aspect of what I'm doing because when you're able to work with regional planning, you're working with lots of people, lots of municipalities, and you're able to get that green message out because you're balancing not only the environmental side of things, but also the land use side of things, the educational aspects that go along with it, and you meet quite a few people along the way while you're doing this.
So you said this whole, this started in 1969 when the Meadowlands was built. For those dating myself now, back to the racetrack and of course the original Giant Stadium, and now you have the new stadium there. Mm-hmm. When the original stadium and the Byrne Arena, what was then called the Byrne, and the racetrack were built, what role did you have then? Did the commission have in the building of those in terms of the environment and the nexus between green building and at least sustainable practices and building those properties?
Well, the Meadowlands Commission is a sister agency to the Sports and Exposition Authority, which runs Giant Stadium, the arena, that you're talking about.
Right.
So we do review projects that are there just from an environmental aspect, but when it comes to green building, we actually get to deal with zoning and building aspects of construction and development in the 14 towns around that area.
Okay.
So when it comes to being the zoning authority in those municipalities, we actually in 2006 implemented green building regulations. And with those, we offer incentives because in New Jersey, they're not mandated green building regulations. And in most states around the country, they don't have mandated green building regulations. So you incentivize the zoning. And what's interesting about our area in Jersey, what we've done is that the way that we've given incentives is that we initially base them around LEED, which is leadership in energy and environmental design. And now we also opened it to looking at other recognized green building rating systems. Because they're becoming more and more recognized, other aspects like Green Globe's system and some of the others that are coming online. So what we do is that if somebody's coming in with a project that meets green building regulations, they may receive a refund in their zoning certificate application fees in according with, let's say, the level of LEED certification that they can achieve. Or they can receive a density bonus in terms of if it's residential, it may be extra housing units based on the level that they receive of LEED or the other certification methods, or it could be additional square footage if that's what they desire. But we have very, very compact development, which is totally in line with green building regulations. So we guide them along the way to build it in a green manner, and we offer things like this. We give them priority zoning, which is something that all developers like. If you're building in a green manner,
right,
you rise to the top of the pile in terms of being reviewed. And another thing is if you're putting solar on top of a rooftop, you get a cut in the cost of your zoning fees.
Got it.
Debbie, do you find that since, in the last few years, you found more and more developers coming in with greener plans simply because you do incentivize them, but do you find that you don't have to do it so much that the whole green revolution has been proving time and time again to actually save people money right from the get-go?
It's just starting to catch on more now than it did previously. We've had these regulations since 2006, and you didn't have a lot of takers back then that wanted to go to the ultimate of doing it under a specific green building system, like a rating system, which is what was required under the regulations in order to get the incentives, okay?
Right.
They were willing to put green building features in.
Right.
Okay, and they would ask for guidance on that, and we would lead them along the way, but they wouldn't take it all the way to doing something that got them incentives.
Got it.
But now you're seeing more and more people that want to take it that far because they are going for LEED certification on buildings.
So these are exciting times. You really feel that it's all kicking in now, and people are really grabbing on it and really wanting to be part of the solution here.
Absolutely. And, with us having the LEED Platinum building on our grounds, we're able to show people more what they can do, products that they can use, and things like that. So we find people reaching out to us a lot more, asking for tours so that they can see what's been done in one building so that they can see what they can do.
Well, we're on the phone here with Mike and I are on the phone with Debbie Lawlor from the New Jersey Meadowlands Commission, and she's the Chief of Sustainability. And for those of you who have your iPad or laptop or in front of a computer, you can look them up and look at her great work, and it is amazing. I got to tell you, frankly, at www.newjerseyNJmeadowlands.gov or at www.njmcaccelerator.com. We're going to be talking about about that in a little while. Tell us a little bit about your LEED Platinum building, Debbie, and like what are some of the highlights when people are coming through? If Mike and I are developers in New Jersey and you're touring us today, what usually gets the biggest wow factor when you're touring us through your own LEED Platinum building?
Well, one of the things that I like to say is that the Meadowlands likes to lead by example. And the Center for Environmental and Scientific Education that we built really does have that wow factor. When you come up on it, it has over 165 solar panels on the roof. It has 3 classrooms, a wet lab. It has an observatory on the end. And we get through probably close to 15,000, 12,000 school children a year, grades K through 12, that come for their school trips. And then, like I was saying, we tour developers through, a lot of professionals. But one of my favorite things is to show them, like the solar tubes from the roof coming on down to bring daylighting through. That's one of my favorite features. It's the ones that you don't normally think of, not
right.
the
obvious,
forest certified wood or the more standard things like the solar panels. The other thing that I absolutely love is the housekeeping system that has the green cleaning products. It's all pre-measured so that when the janitorial staff comes in, they know if they're doing a certain type of thing like the floors, they press certain buttons on the system, and it pre-measures what they need, so it's less waste, it's green products, and they learn the system right up front. You're able to point out things like the flooring to people. I also like the chairs made out of certain recycled materials in the building. So you really get into it when you tour somebody around the facilities, low VOC paints, things like that you're able to just take them through. One of the highlights of the entire tour is taking people into the bathrooms. Wow. The bathrooms have more features in them than anything else. Recycled glass materials, recycled plastic materials on the stalls, sensors on the water features.
Wow.
So it's everything.
So really it's a DNA issue. You guys really have now a tremendous example that you're able to highlight to all visitors on how this can be done in every facet of a building.
That's right. And
that's great.
It doesn't have to be at a seminar. It doesn't have to be a huge conference that people are coming to. Somebody can call us ahead of time and say, hey, we just want to come and see what's been done there, and we'll give a one-on-one tour.
Well, that is such a really nice invitation. And for all our listeners out there, I mean, this is a great paradigm that Debbie and her colleagues have created. Take us a little bit about, now we're switching from just green building to sustainability with regards to facilities and operations and encouraging businesses to be more sustainable in your area, and tie that into what you've created with the Meadowlands Challenge, which, by the way, sounds like a race that we had over there years ago at the racetrack. So to talk a little bit about then your greater mission and your greater work with regards to businesses in your zone area.
Well, the Meadowlands Challenge is a really neat idea. Our executive director, Bob Siberio, had wanted to do this for a long time, and we finally got it off the ground probably back in around the end of 2008. And the idea was to get businesses that are green already or wanting to go green to get into a challenge with themselves. They're not in a race with each other. The idea is to get them to go green and then share their story with other businesses, and to share where they bought products, what services they're using, and to let us post it on our website, and to give us one contact person at that company that is willing to be the person that if another company wants to try what they've done and what they've posted on our website, that they can speak with. So let's say you bought a green carpet, and that the next company wants to go for green carpeting. They could call us and say, hey, how did company X, go about doing that, or where did they buy it? And we'll put them in touch with the person that we got from company X, and they could talk to each other. They could share their ideas with each other.
Sharing best practices.
Once they do that, we give out a plaque. We get them some local PR about, becoming a green company through the Meadowlands Challenge.
Wow.
But it's companies helping other companies to become green.
So what you're doing is you're creating sort of a collaborative where they're sharing best practices.
Absolutely.
Wonderful.
And then if a company has not done it themselves and they want to go green, we will help them to do it.
That is so great. Now, since late 2008 when this launched approximately, how many companies have participated?
We're probably up to 25, maybe a little bit more. Another 5 companies are getting the award this week.
Wow.
So we're around that area right now. We probably have another 4 or 5 in the works at the moment. So, it's like every couple of months you add on another 5, I'd say.
That is great.
So it keeps compounding, and we reach out to companies that we hear about to say, hey, if you're doing this, will you share your story? Will you help somebody else?
Another great aspect of what you do, I mean, obviously, all of what you've just mentioned already is just mind-blowing. Mike and I are just sitting here in awe of all the great work you do. But the other thing that's so fascinating about what you do, and we get inquiries about this all the time, is that you actually help entrepreneurs start green businesses that are interested with your new NJMC Business Accelerator. Please tell us, and tell our listeners more importantly, about what you're doing with the NJMC Business Accelerator.
Okay, the Business Accelerator is an incubator, and we focus on the green community. So we're owned and operated by a state entity, the New Jersey Meadowlands Commission, and we're able to do a lot because of that. We run incredible networking. We have lots of opportunities that include collaborating with government agencies, universities, community groups, and other established businesses. So we have lots of connections where a startup business can come to us. And we actually have a facility that's in a Class A office building that's just beautiful. And they can get low-cost office space. So if you're a startup business, it's like shared office space. You come in and you can get anywhere from a cubicle for, let's say, $250 a month to the corner office for about $1,000 a month.
Wow.
Okay, and then there's a receptionist. There's 2 very large conference rooms. We have lots of shared services like a kitchen and a mail room and stuff like that. And what we do is we offer programs. Each month there's different programs. One of our newest things that we're going to be getting off the ground starting next week is a mentoring program that we're doing with the Meadowlands Chamber of Commerce, which is one of the largest chambers around this area, with their Small Business Council. And every month they're going to hold their Small Business Council meetings here at our facilities.
Wow.
So our members get 1-year membership for free, our clients that are located here, to the Chamber of Commerce.
Huh. Now,
and that alone is worth several $100s.
That is, and how many businesses have availed themselves? When did you launch this Business Accelerator / incubator, and how many businesses have availed themselves of this great opportunity that you've put forth?
We opened the facilities October of 2008.
Right.
And right now there are, there's a little over, I guess we're just about 20 businesses, and there's another 4 that have applications in right now that we're reviewing. And we have an open house this Thursday, if I could plug that, from 2 to 6 for people that are interested. But we always give tours and we take applications. So we have space available for a few more companies in-house, and we also have another option called the affiliate option, which means that if people don't take space, but let's say they're working out of their home with a startup green company, we offer our programs to those people for a fee. It's around $175 to $180 a month, and they're able to come in and use everything but have their office here.
Well,
so that's another great opportunity for people that just want assistance. And programs run from anything like QuickBooks for accounting purposes to business planning to how do you use social networking to get your business off the ground, or how do you attract venture capital to start your business up. So very interesting ways to help companies. But the really great part about an incubator environment is that you're a startup company, and usually you have 1 to 2 people in your company when you're starting up.
Right.
You're in this great environment where small business owners are able to play off of each other. You know, you have an idea, and who do you toss it over but maybe your neighbor in the next room?
Got it.
You know, or you met somebody at this conference the other night, or a talk that somebody was giving, and it's like, wow, that may not help me, but it could help the guy in the office next to me.
On the phone with us right now on Green is Good is Deborah Lawlor. She's the New Jersey Meadowlands Commission Chief Sustainability and Business Accelerator Director of Administration. We're just looking on your Business Accelerator site, Debbie. As long as we're talking about just real numbers here, I see that in 2009, there were 520 entrepreneurial client companies in New Jersey incubators. And of those companies, they created and retained over 1,500 new higher-paying jobs. So you got to be doing something right.
That's right. They say that when it comes to companies that start up in incubators, your chances are much, much better than if you start off in your home and just try to make a go of it that way, or start off in a storefront. Because most of those companies have a lot less chance of staying in business after the first or second year.
That is just amazing. You know, we're down to the last 2 minutes or so, Debbie, and I want to also talk about one last topic that's also seems so fascinating about what you're doing. Mike and I have read all about you and on your great websites and stuff like that. You also have a Green Living program. Share with our listeners a little bit about the Green Living program, and then we want to talk about a couple last things before we say goodbye. Go ahead, please.
Well, we started about a year ago a program called the Green Living Program, just to have programs that we take out into the neighborhood to educate the general public about sustainability. We were getting a bunch of calls from different communities saying that New Jersey has a what they call Sustainable Jersey program, and it's outreach on sustainability topics. So I created a couple of programs where I would go to, let's say, the local home center, like a Lowe's or a Home Depot, and say, could I bring a speaker into your store to talk about a green topic? Because we know that that's where the general public is. So we would bring somebody into a place like that to talk about green remodeling and green cleaning. Or could we go to, let's say, a local library in a town where the farmer's market is across the street to talk about environmental shopping and buying locally and maybe the slow foods movement. We also held on Earth Day at our facilities some topics on Recycling 101, green purchasing, how do you read eco-labels, and greenscaping, which is, how to do landscaping without using a lot of chemicals on your lawn. So those are topics that we bring to the general public so that they learn more and more about how to do things around their own home in a green manner.
That's amazing. Mike and I are sitting here, and we're really, really impressed with everything that's going on. And Debbie, we're down to the last 30 seconds or so. Do you have any last thoughts to share about what your work is doing and what your colleagues and you are doing over at the New Jersey Meadowlands Commission and at the Accelerator/Incubator?
Well, all I'd like to say is that we invite you to come and visit our facilities. We're always available to help anyone around the New Jersey, New York area. Check out our websites, as you've given the addresses out. See what we have to offer. We love getting the green word out in our area. Lots of people have been reaching out to us from across the country, so we know that we're doing something right in this area. the Meadowlands has come back in a big way from a wildlife perspective, and we hope that you enjoy what we're doing.
Well, thank you so much. Mike and I are so thankful for you spending time with us today and our listeners. And for those who want to look at more of what Debbie and her colleagues are doing, it's www.newjerseymeadowlands.gov and www.njmcaccelerator.com. Debbie Lawlor, you are an eco-visionary and truly living proof that green is good.